Hey everybody, I'm so happy to have you guys with me. This is going to be a 6-month long tutorial slash course on how to create a fully fledged online action RPG. I created this little PowerPoint presentation here to go over through some of the features that we're going to be implementing. Long story short, it's going to be a client server action RPG. It's going to store items on the back end on a database, and we're going to have good itemization, we're going to have a good crafting system, we're going to have rune words, we're going to have a lobby, we're going to be able to create and join games, we're going to have a master server, and we're going to have game servers that are spun out, and players can create a game that's basically on a game instance server and that connects to the master server, and everything's going to be interconnected, and it's just going to be amazing. But I want to go through some of these slides so I can show you the final product, if that makes sense. So yeah, like I said, itemization. We're going to have runes, and they're going to be dropping. And when they do drop, you're going to be able to put them in items, and you're going to be able to create a rune word. Rune words are essential, one of the core pillars of the action RPG genre, and Diablo 3 did not do them right. PoE 2 kind of does them, but they don't even have anything close to the rune word system that Diablo 2 has. Torchlight, those games, let's see, Grim Dawn, Torchlight, I don't think their rune word system, I don't even think they have a rune word system, but honestly, I don't know most of them, but I do want to go through some of this stuff over here. So we have character progression. We're going to be using Diablo 2's XP table on the back end. So basically what I'm saying is you're not going to be able to get to level 99 in 2 days, okay? It's going to take a week, maybe a month, but there's going to be a feeling of character progression where when you do level up and you do add that skill point on the skill tree and you feel that tiny power when you kill a monster, that is going to incentivize the player to continue to play. That's the whole idea of character progression, and we must foster that. Good itemization. We're going to have magics, we're going to have rares. We're going to have rune words, we're going to have set items, and we're going to have normal items that are going to be superior quality, and we're going to be able to enhance defense on them. We're going to be able to add sockets on items. We're going to be able to insert skill gems into the items. So it's going to be a mixture of PoE and Diablo 2. So world building and environmental design. Let me see here. Yeah, so for our game, procedural generation is, there's going to be some dungeons that are going to be procedural, but there's also going to be a lot of handcrafted ones as well. So it's going to be about half and half, which I think is a fair take. So for the technical infrastructure, as I said earlier, we're going to have a client to server type of relationship. We're going to create our server in C. We're going to be using, everything is actually going to be done in C, one of the fastest programming languages in the world. And server management and load balancing. So I don't know if I said this earlier, but we're going to have a master server, and it's going to be connected to a database, and we're going to have a whole bunch of game instances on the back end that are connected to the master server. And when a player joins a game or creates a game, they're going to be in that game instance server, and it's going to run the game loop, and that game loop is going to sometimes communicate to the master server. And how to horizontally scale this is if you just keep adding game instance servers. They're tiny VPSs. They're like sometimes $2.99 a month you can get them. So if we need more players, or if we need to adapt our server to accommodate for more players, we can basically spin up more tiny VPSs, virtual private servers, if that makes sense. And the data is going to be stored on the back end in MySQL. Where is that one slide? I don't know where it is, but there is one slide that shows you the schema for the MySQL structure. Where is it? I apologize guys for this. I'm going to go through these, see if I can get to that slide. Is it this one? That is weird. Anyway, the back end is basically gonna be, we're gonna store all of our items on the back end on a server, and that server is gonna have, you know, a database, MySQL. It's gonna have tables. One of the tables is gonna be like RPG underscore items, RPG underscore user underscore items. It's gonna have the item ID, the character ID, the item affixes, strength, health, MP, HP, dex, energy. It's gonna have stat. It's gonna have columns to store the item affixes, all that kind of stuff. So I think that slide was, here it is. Yeah, see, MySQL. We're not gonna be using MongoDB. We're not gonna have any flat file storages. We're not gonna do any of that. It's just gonna be old-fashioned MySQL connect, you know, multiplayer. So yeah, like I said, the server is going to be written in C. It's going to be able to handle multiple connections. They're all going to be in their separate threads on the back end. So I don't know how many I don't know how many players can be handled on one TCP server on the back end with one core on a dedicated server. But if you get like a really expensive dedicated server that has like 16 cores, can probably house and handle a lot of players with a high-tech game loop, and that's what we need. So, and like I said, for the game engines, we're going to create our own custom game engine. We're not going to have any third-party tools. Well, we can create our own third-party tools, but we're not going to be using an actual engine or framework. We're going to create it all in pure C, maybe a little bit of C++. I'm not sure. But yeah, so the importance of the client-server architecture. Obviously, we need this for online play. Client connects to the servers. Servers are on the back end. And for example, if we're in the chat window, we're messaging a player, we have to find out that character name in the lookup table so we can actually message them and use their socket as a reference. So we can notify that other player that that player is sending them a message. Stuff like that. Let's go here. But yeah, I'm so excited to get this started. Let's see. So yeah, the beta is going to be released in around 6 months when we're finished. And I just want to show you guys the final product. Let me go to the game. And so this is our character. And I walk over here. And we have hit him. So that's going to be the game that we're going to be creating. Let's go back to here. So that should be the end of the slide. Marketing strategies, you know, gonna have to buy Google AdSense, all that stuff. So we're gonna have to spend some money there. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good rest of your day. Happy New Year's. Appreciate it. Can't wait to get started.